It's something many of us who work in an office building take for granted. When our workday is over, we leave in the evening, return the next morning, and like magic, our office is clean, the building is clean, everything is nice and shiny. We can thank the countless janitors who work all throughout the night to get our cubicles, office space, kitchen space presentable the next day. In years past, janitorial work revolved around using harsh chemicals and toxic cleaning solutions, and there wasn't much attention paid to things like saving water or energy or cleaning in an environmentally friendly way. Well, these days, all of that is changing because janitors around Southern California and throughout the state are jumping on the sustainability bandwagon.
We found that there wasn't anything sort of addressing the work that janitors were doing every night. They're the eyes and ears of a building. They know tenant practices. They know the buildings like nobody else, so they can really identify where we can conserve more energy, how we're doing waste diversion, how we're also conserving water. And so there was no certification and there was no standard in the industry, but we found that we were at a place, at least in California and especially in Los Angeles, that we wanted to really address having a standard.
Cardenas says too often janitors are part of the invisible workforce of a building, and she says that has to change if we all want to work in a sustainable, clean building environment.
So the Green Janitor Education Program is a 30-hour program, and they get really into detail on what are the best practices in sustainability in the work that they do every night. That can also translate to their home. There's so much new policy and goals and legislation on diverting waste from the landfills, and so they really understand the work is changing for them.
And Cardenas explains that with older, more outdated cleaning chemicals, janitors were reporting getting runny noses, eye irritation, respiratory problems, asthma, and if the building janitors were dealing with these health issues, ultimately, so were the building tenants.
Understanding all of the chemicals and how important it is to follow the rules and to read the labels and to understand why we're using different chemicals that are not just safer for them, but they're safer for the tenants. So over time, the improvement of indoor air quality is quite important.
Not to be funny, but who knew the cleaning of an office was such a science, right?
It is.
Dominique Hargraves is with the U.S. Green Building Council in Los Angeles. USGBC-LA works with partners across the region like LA Metro, the City of LA, the Mayor's Office, the City Office of Resiliency, and even utility companies to help foster a culture of sustainability.
The janitors are on the front lines. They know every single inch of the building. They are cleaning the elevators, they're cleaning restrooms, they're cleaning desks. Before this program, janitorial workers were not a part of sustainability. This program really pushed them to be the eyes and the ears of the building. So they're looking for leaks and they're reporting those leaks. They are looking for items that are plugged in all night when no one is there.
The Green Janitor Education Program was launched in Los Angeles in 2014. Back then, it consisted of 6 buildings and about 140 trained janitors.
We expanded throughout Southern California to another 50 buildings. And now, to date, we've actually trained over 1,000 workers across the state of California. And we have some really interesting clients. Up in Sacramento, we have the California Lottery is training their workers. We have YouTube training their workers. We have Kilroy Realty training every single worker in all of their buildings in the entire state. Every big building that you can see around us is into this program and implementing it for the good of the building and to have sound environmental practices. We want to see green janitors in every state. We're getting calls from Denver, we're getting calls from Phoenix, calls from New York, calls from Chicago, other places that want to implement this program. This program is going to take the United States by storm.
The program certainly took Veronica Lagunas by storm. Lagunas has been a janitor in the LA area for over a decade.
First of all, it's very important for my health. We utilize products that do not harm our health, and also my coworkers are using very harmful chemicals. And now that they're seeing a lot of throat infections and cancers, but now it's really important for us to utilize less harmful ingredients. And we're also taking care of the environment, the ozone layer. It's important for us to make sure that we keep that safe. It's very important for everybody. Not only about myself, but people that are cleaning here, but people that are also working in the offices that are not exposed to all these chemicals.
Sarah Neff is a Senior Vice President of Sustainability for Kilroy Realty Corporation. Kilroy owns office buildings all throughout the West Coast, from San Diego to Seattle, and Kilroy is using nearly 100 green janitors, which is 40% of their total janitorial service.
So a lot of our janitors have been with us for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And so they're a part of who we are as a company, and engaging them on sustainability is part of what we do. We engage everybody. We all think of basically buildings as invisible. You know, they fade into the background. We don't really think of them as major users of energy or water, things that impact our health, but in fact they do all of that really, really deeply. They're 40% of carbon emissions and 15% of potable water, and we have to improve them if we're going to meet any of our climate goals. And engaging our janitors is just a critical piece of the puzzle.
Sustainability, it's very important because our resources are depleting. Our natural resources are depleting. And if we don't learn on how to best utilize these resources, then we are going to have no planet.